G'day legends, today we are going to be talking about the absolutely emotional roller coaster that is Sean Strickland, how I think he is the biggest soy boy in all of MMA, and I'm not saying that ironically at all. I think Sean Strickland has got one of the shortest tempers in all of the UFC today, and it's so ironic because he's the one that goes on and on about blabbing how men should be tough and we don't have any men left in today's generation. That's what today's video is going to be about. First of all, I do have to say, just excuse me for the quality of myself and the quality of today's video. Now, we just finished UFC 317, and during that, I had a bet with one of the awesome subscribers of the MMA YouTube community, Cheddarhead. And in that bet, the bet was that Renato Moicano could not lose that fight. If he did win that fight, Cheddarhead would have to pay me a sum of money. If he lost that fight, I would have to eat 12 hot dogs. Well, I just finished a live stream attempting to eat 12 hot dogs. I successfully got through seven of them, and to this point, I've still been able to pass anything from my body. I haven't been able to number two. I haven't been able to chunder. I haven't been able to do. I'm completely clogged up. My eyes cannot focus. I feel like I'm going blind, and I'm in the middle of a long-lasting heart attack. So this video might not be the highest quality video I've ever done, but I am committed to making an MMA video every day of the week that I possibly can, and I am not dead from Glizzy Overdrive, as the live chat like to call it. I'm not dead from eating 7 to 12 hot dogs just yet, and we press on. What am I talking about? So Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis were at a local MMA event just down at the local Wendy's. It was a small event, and it was called MMA Tough Enough. I guess it's called Tough Enough. It's called Tough Enough. And they were there to support one of their teammates. Now, one of their teammates was in a fight with a local police officer. And I don't mean like they got into a punch-on in the car park and the police rolled up. No, I mean the cage fight was between one of the teammates of Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis and a local police officer who was practicing in MMA at the time. This is who the match was against. And, well, it kicked off towards the end of the fight because the local police officer, who, believe it or not, isn't on Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis' team, is on the opposing team, cops and robbers, boys, beat Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland's teammate via standing guillotine. Let's check it out. Right, so here's the police officer, Louis the Stash Hernandez. Apparently, that is his cage name. And what a stash it is. He's the one standing up. And Sean Strickland's teammate and Chris Curtis's teammate is the bloke who has got his head in a standing guillotine. Not exactly high-level MMA, but it is what it is. So the stash, he's having a great time. He's saying he's tapped. And he immediately runs over to the corner in which I assume Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis are in, and he's giving him one of these, mate. He's giving him the old, that's right, brother, why don't you cop that? He's giving him the old, why don't you suck it? Have a bit of that. Now, that's just a bit of friendly John Jones action after. I'm not saying that it's Diddy-esque, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that because it's June. You know, I'm not saying it's John Jones action because there's rainbow glitter falling from the sky. I'm saying John Jones did the same thing. I believe it was after the DC1 fight? DC2 fight? It was after the DC1 fight, where he gave him a bit of the old, how you going, son? Oh, right. Oh, don't bloody kill the lead here, Doug. So, anyway, Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis, they see this action here from the Stash Hernandez. There it is there. Classic action, that is. Gives him a bit of a, how do you like that? And this sets off a chain reaction in Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis's head, where they absolutely flip out. And as you can see, we cut away, and here's Chris bloody Curtis. There he is. You can tell which one's Chris Curtis out of this line up here. Out of the four gentlemen on the screen, I think you might be able to guess which one Chris Curtis is. The angry one entering the cage, wanting to commit violence with his redneck friend, Sean Strickland. And Sean Strickland is also entering the cage as well. And the run-up that he gets on this guy is tough. It's bloody tough. You'd absolutely shit bricks. Look at that. The fists are down, and he's storming into the cage. And Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis are going to have a word with this young man. Now, Chris is on him first. And I reckon Chris just wants to yell at him. Again, the stash, Mr. Hernandez here, is a police officer. This is Chris Curtis and the former neo skinhead Sean Strickland. now accosting a police officer and assaulting them now that a sanctioned fight has been finished. So they run into the cage, fist down, bloody kicks the thongs off, mate. Un-Australian, I might say. There's the thongs right there. Absolutely un-Australian this is. Bang, there go the thongs. That's how you can tell the difference between a Yank and an Aussie. Aussies always take their thongs into a fist fight. They don't just kick off the thongs. They wear their thongs in a fight. Do the Aussies? We don't kick them off, mate. We leave our thongs on. So here he goes. He storms in, kicks the thongs off, and he just sends one. Sends a right hand at this police officer. And Chris Curtis is like, oh shit, we've crossed a line here. Now we have crossed a line. That's what Chris Curtis is thinking. And a second one for Sean Strickland. Hey, there's our bloody referee. Which referee is that? Is that Chris Tione? That might be Chris Tione. Let's do a quick Google and check. It is. That's our boy Chris Tognoni. Our boy Chris Tognoni. Yeah, so Chris Tognoni, he's in there. Two UFC athletes and a UFC referee are in there. Bang, bang, Chris Tognoni is like, fuck me, mate, pull up. And goes and pulls Sean Strickland off. And Chris Curtis is giving him the real talking to. How dare you talk a bit of trash during an MMA fight? That's not fair. How dare you do that? And look, Chris Curtis has always been an emotional man. I think we remember Chris Curtis versus... God, who was it? Oh, I can't remember now, and I won't be able to remember, and I'm not going to bother to check the Tapology, even though it's right in front of me. But there was a fight that Chris had, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, where the bloke that he was fighting didn't just stand directly in front of him. He actually got out of the way a little bit and played a rangy kickboxing game with him. And Chris Curtis wanted to play the hot dogs. Oh, please, I need to pass something. I need to either vomit or go to the toilet. They have to come out at some point. Please. They need to come out of me. Right, there was a fight 2 or 3 years ago where the kickboxer was dancing around the outside of Chris Curtis, and Chris Curtis spat the dummy in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the round, like Jamal Hill against Khalil Roundtree, because the bloke would just not stand in front of him. He's one of those kind of fight. Chris Curtis always spits the dummy if the fight doesn't go his way. And here he is again, just spitting the dummy one more time. There he goes, giving him it. And Tyone's like, mate, get off him. Get off him. Yeah, it's... Now, why did this kick off? So, believe it or not, but the second there was drama in the MMA world, Ariel Helwani came down from the sky. Like Thor trying to...
You are gay.
Ignore that. That's from the live streams. Like Thor trying to call Mjolnir on the way down, right? Can't believe that just happened. Right? Like Thor trying to call Mjolnir down. That's Ariel Helwani. Ariel Helwani is like a crow flying around the skies of the MMA world, just waiting for some drama to kick off. And then the second there's some drama, and Ariel Helwani descends from the sky, and he's there to claim an interview. So Ariel Helwani was on the scene to actually get the thoughts of Mr. Police Officer, the Stash Hernandez, to see what the hell was going on there. Let's check in with Ariel Helwani now. We transition.
What happened?
Well, man, we were in the fight, and they were talking in the fight, and man, listen, there's only so much we could take. This is entertainment, right? So he said some things, and then I said some things back, and I guess he didn't like what I said back.
What
man.
He said to you?
Well,
I believe him. I completely believe him that Sean Strickland... I don't know so much about Chris Curtis, because Chris Curtis isn't exactly the go-at-you kind of guy. He's the more emotional reaction type. But I completely believe that during the course of the fight, Sean Strickland, who has a loud fucking mouth and likes to yap, loves a good yap, I can imagine that Sean Strickland was giving it during the fight. Sorry about that. I feel like it's breaking up now. I've been drinking so much water. Right. Sean Strickland, I completely believe that Sean Strickland was giving it to him during the fight. And the Stash Hernandez just gave him a little bit back in the heat of the moment. And Sean Strickland had the most Karen crash out imaginable. This is a Karen-esque crash out from Sean Strickland. He enters it like a woman throwing his purse to the ground and looking to slap her husband. He just, and it's just so par for the course. This is why I'm really not that much of a Sean Strickland fan because I love a bit.
You are gay.
Turn that off, Doug. I love a bit of shit talking. Obviously, like I try and do MMA YouTube, and MMA YouTube is all about getting hype for fun for a lot of the fights, and then doing a little of the bantering at some of the fights as well, and having some banter and some fun with the fighters as well. You know, like Joe Pyfer says, no one cares about your channel. You've only got 200 viewers. I can't wait to smack that guy. I say, what are you going to do, Joe Pyfer? I'll throw a taco at your face. It's all good fun. You know what I mean? I find it funny. We have a laugh. But that's the thing. Like, even when I'm in the middle of the live streams or even on the comment sections, when people are giving me grief for some of my horrible takes that I have that I think are right, but you know, some people think those takes are horrible. That's totally fine. I find it funny. I enjoy the banter. I enjoy the back and forth. Sean Strickland is the kind of guy that will spend months, weeks, days, hours tweeting, trying to insult as many people as he can. Sean Strickland is like a Eminem album in 2022, in 2002. It exists purely to see how much of people it can insult, how many people it can insult. And so often, when something gets hurled back in Sean Strickland's direction, he is the queen. And I do mean the queen of crash outs. Sean Strickland is the definition of can't take one to give one. He is such a thin-skinned pussy. Mental pussy. Obviously, he's not a pussy. Like, he goes into the cage and will take his clothes off and actually get into a fist fight where there is a chance for grievously bodily harm to be done to him. But just his mentality is such a weak pussy that can't handle criticism. And what I find even worse is the fact that he knows that he does it. I heard this interview once with Sean Strickland. We were talking about the how his sparring sessions don't look like his fights. And he says in his fights, yeah, obviously the fights are going to be a little bit more of a chess match. That's what it is. You got to take things a lot slower. Where in sparring, you can throw down and go to war. When the dude literally tries to sell us this idea that he is this warrior that is going to go in there for war and bleed for us, man. And he only ever does that if he's in there against some tiny Japanese K1 kickboxer or some influencer or this poor bloke that is just out here trying to have a good time and enjoy his weekend and get to celebrate, where he's doing a little how you go into the crowd. Like, we haven't seen Sean Strickland stomping around the cage after a win before, pumping the chest, laughing at Israel Adesanya. Like, we haven't seen Sean Strickland do kind of victory laps before in the past. We've seen him do it, but the second somebody else does it, then, oh, it's too far. Oh, it's too far. I don't hold this against Chris Curtis as much because, again, Chris Curtis isn't out there giving it to people 24/7. I bet if I go on to Sean Strickland's Twitter right now, he'll be saying something to someone in it. Last time I checked him, he said, when are these two going to start playing missile ping pong again? How are those Jews and those Muslims going at each other? Like, all he does is give people grief. But don't you give it back to Sean Strickland. Don't you dare give it back to Sean Strickland. And honestly, screw him. Screw him. He's a soy boy. He's a soy boy. I honestly hope he gets a suspension for this. I do. I hope he gets suspended. I hope that this happened in Nevada. I hope that whatever athletic commission this happened in, they give him a suspension for this. He shouldn't be allowed to just go into the cage and swing on other cage fighters because he doesn't like the way that they celebrate. You know, I don't like the fact that Sean Strickland did that all. So I hope that he gets some sort of suspension. I hope that he gets some sort of penalty for this. I really do. But anyway, that's that. We did it. We made the video for the day. I think it was worth sharing as well. I don't think it was a throwaway video. I think it was worth sharing. Just yet another bit of sprinkling of evidence that you can have in your mind when you're seeing Sean Strickland go out there and give these just pathetic pre-fight press conferences where it's just a show. Is it more fake than Colby Covington at this point? Or is the dude just so mentally broken he doesn't realize what a giant fucking hypocrite that he is? I don't know. Let me know that down there in the comments. Let me know about that down there in the comments. If this is your first time here, g'day and welcome. My name is Dougie. I make an MMA video every single day of the week and I try and go live at least 3 times a week. The videos are usually a little bit better than this because I'm not in the middle of dying. And I do think I'm close to the end here. I cannot believe how uncomfortable the inside of my body feels being stuffed with this many hot dogs. God damn it. I hate Renato Moicano so much now. If you liked the video, leave a like. And if you're one of the paying members of the channel, thank you so much. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one. Goodbye, guys.